How's it going? My name is Chris,
My name is Ian.
and this is the Two Dudes One Up Gaming Podcast. Hope you're all having an excellent night. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Chris.
Yeah,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right.
Okay.
A lot of things going on, but we're all set.
You have a good weekend?
Yeah, just playing a lot of. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I had a pretty good weekend myself. I got back in town again from another week out on the road, and
Good.
managed to sit down yesterday and play a couple of games, and went back to work today, and generally had a good day. Got some LED wall stuff figured out. And ready to hit my vacation on Thursday. I'm gonna
Okay.
be
How long do
headed
you
down.
have?
I'm there from Thursday to Sunday, so I come back right before Memorial Day. But going on my first cruise, headed down to Nassau, and
Nice.
we'll see if I get off the boat or not. But I plan on just relaxing and unwinding. It'll be a fun week. I think I'm going with a good friend of mine who I haven't been able to go and hang out with in a while. So
All
it's
right.
gonna be a good chance for the two of us to catch back up.
Good. Good. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, but there will be plenty of games to keep me busy. There's a lot of releases coming up
It's
tomorrow.
true.
A lot
A
of a
lot.
lot of good stuff actually. Um,
First one
for
tomorrow
those,
is actually well, you've heard all the hubbub about Stardew Valley recently with the multiplayer and the patches and everything else. It's coming
yep,
out on the Vita
yeah,
tomorrow.
absolutely. Finally, the Stardew Valley is reaching the 6 Vita owners be included. Um, I have a Vita buried away somewhere.
Sweet. Well, all six of
I
those
gotta
people
go
will be
find
happy to hear it.
it.
Man.
Oh man. So I think
Yeah.
that pretty much completes all of the consoles that Stardew Valley can get on. I don't think they're going to do a 3DS release, although you never know
I
at
mean,
this point.
don't hold it to them. I mean, maybe they do want to put it on the 3DS.
Next thing you know, it'll be Stardew Valley Oculus Rift Edition.
Mm.
So yeah,
The
it'll be
whole
pretty
one
good.
inch of three dimensions you can bring to that game.
Yeah.
Well, the other one.
Would it be 2D plus is what they'll consider it, where it kind of
Oh yeah,
like
2.5D.
like a
Yeah,
diorama,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like a diorama
Wear
or
some
whatever.
goggles when you're at it. Yeah. Well, another game coming out. Well, let me preface it with this. Do you remember back when Portal 2 came out? They had this big AR thing going on, and one of the big things that they had was this game had just come out, and it was called Bit.Trip Beat. And so Valve got in touch with those devs, and they put a whole level in there for GLaDOS. Well, BitTrip Beat is part of the same BitTrip franchise that Runner is part of. And I don't know if you've ever played these games, but basically they play some sick jams, and you run, jump, and duck, and dodge, and do all kinds of cool stuff to get through a level. Well, they're coming out with Runner 3.
Yeah, Runner 3 is going to hit tomorrow on the Switch and the PC.
For sure.
I have played a couple of the Runner games before. I like the cross promotion stuff that they do with it. I know they had some Shovel Knight characters in the game before. Eddie Riggs from Brutal Red Legend, which is a game I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought Jack Black did a fantastic job.
Blackjack was great,
in
yeah.
that game. Blackjack, yeah, he was fantastic. It kind of reminds me of the like the cell phone runner games a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for, I hope it doesn't have like an expensive release price, but
Oh,
it's one
no.
of those,
The
like,
BitTrip games have always been like 15 or less coming out. I'm sure it'll
Yeah.
be very affordable.
yeah.
So I don't
it's-
know that
yeah,
you'll get
it's
15
kind of
hours
like
out of
one
it,
those
but I
games.
mean, probably like maybe 6, or depending on how good you are at it.
Yeah.
They've
Well,
always
from
had-
what I understand is like the different characters that you can unlock and whatnot have different abilities, and there are multiple paths in every level. So like, even though there's only a limited amount of levels, I think there's like 27 or something like that. There's multiple paths and stuff that you can do to kind of get around to get a little bit more playtime out of it. So
All right. Sweet.
yeah, we'll see what goes on there. Also coming out tomorrow for for those sports fans like me, for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC, Tennis World Tour comes out tomorrow. It's been a while since we've had a really good tennis simulator. Every now and again, one gets released. Top Spin was a great franchise that I thoroughly enjoyed. I used to play the heck out of Top Spin 3 on the Dreamcast.
Okay. So it's
yeah,
been a
so
while.
it's going. Top Spin 4 came out not too long ago for PlayStation.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, the tennis simulators, like, you don't really need to put them out every year.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
how
a
much does
game
tennis
that-
change?
Yeah, so every now and again, when some stars kind of come up and you get some new people, or the graphics quality gets way better, they kind of give it an update and so on and so forth. So Tennis World Tour is kind of like, I would consider it like the 5th Top Spin almost. It's being developed by Breakpoint Studios, who have kind of been on board for a while with the Top Spin games. I think they kind of got on at like 2.
Okay.
They didn't do the original one, but and I think there's also some people that work for the 2K Czech team that have some people working for Breakpoint now. So you can expect like a pretty solid career mode. Like, I don't know how much sports games that you play, but 2K is really known for putting together a really well thought out career mode when it comes to sports.
I'll have you know, I won many a game in Madden 94. So that's about the last time I played a real sports game. Other than that, I've just played like Mario Tennis and Mario Strikers and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I know this is being considered the simulation alternative to Mario Tennis Aces. So where that game's way more.
That's gaming. This is more like realistic.
Yeah, this is more realistic.
Okay.
So I'll probably play it. Just because to me, a great tennis game, will last a long time.
Okay.
I'd love to see like a ping pong version come out. You don't see a lot of like ping pong games, foosball games.
How do you simulate twisting? Which lever you're twisting that quickly?
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point with Oculus Rift hand controls and the Switch, actually foosball would be great on the Switch. You disconnect the Joy-Cons and then you hold them.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. I'd have to have really good gyroscopes.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably if I was gonna make it, I don't know, mechanic system, I would probably like use the triggers to move your hands up and down which bar you want to spin, and then you just kind of rev it like a motorcycle, I would assume.
Well, really, if all you need is motion controls, you could just have both of the Switch controllers have 4 buttons on them. The left is up, down, left, and right, and the right is A, B, X, Y. There are 8 rows on a foosball table. One button for each row. And then
just hold the button that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's four per side, or 5 per side, I think, including a goalie. So with the trigger on the top for the goalie and the 4 buttons.
Oh, you're right. There's 8 in total. Yeah. So 5 per side. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So 4 buttons and
6. No. Yeah, 5. Yeah, because 1 goalie and 4. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 5.
I'm just gonna Google
It's 5.
foosball
It's
table.
definitely 5.
1, 2, 3. Actually, it's 4 per side. It's
Because you have the goalie, and then you have your back defender row, which is right next to it, and then you've got your center offense, and then you have your 4. Oh no, yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah, it's only 4. Yeah, it's 4.
All right.
So yeah, okay,
Great.
We're
this
looking
out.
too deep into this. Yeah. We're looking too deep into this. So I mean, I'm stoked for the tennis game. I'll probably pick it up for the Switch because I think that'll be a good travel game. Play it for a couple hours. But also coming out for the Switch, which is a must buy in my opinion. Both Mega Man Legacy Collections 1 and 2 are coming out.
Yeah.
So all of the original 10 games split between 2 Legacy Collections. I believe it's 1 through 6 on the first one, and then 7, 8, 9, 10 on the second collection. So I will be, as an older gamer growing up with the Mega Man games, I will be picking up Legacy Collection 1, and then maybe I'll pick up 2 later on if I can actually finagle my way through all the games on.
That's fair. Dude, they're hard.
They are hard. They're very, very hard. Mega Man and Mega Man 2 are some of the hardest games that are out there. Watching the speedruns of Mega Man 2 is a blast. these legacy collections have actually been out for a while. I think they've been out since like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see them finally hit the Switch. The Switch,
Making the
they're doing a
migration.
really good job. They're doing a really good job of kind of like bringing the old classic console games to the Switch in a timely fashion. I'd like to see them kind of release more, but with the what was it, the NES 30-in-1 console that they released, they're kind of like being hesitant and stuff. So.
Oh, you mean the things like the SNES Classic over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to make money off of hardware and software and stuff now. So I think the Virtual Console for the Switch is going to be very limited. Maybe in their next console they'll pull it back, or maybe later on in the Switch's lifespan.
Yeah, when they introduce the online stuff and the pay for the online, maybe they'll start bringing more games in.
Yeah.
And then other than that, tomorrow, I don't know if you know anything about this game, but Ancestors Legacy for Xbox One and PC, that comes out tomorrow as well. It's a real-time strategy game set in the Middle Ages, but it's historically accurate. So like it has 4 nations that you can choose from. It's got the Anglo-Saxons, it's got the Slavs, it's got the Germans, and it's got the Vikings. And it's it deals with resource management and base building, just like most real-time strategies do. And it's based in the Unreal 4 engine. What I'm stoked most for it is just the historical accuracy of this game and how we're going to see that kind of play out. The different buildings and stuff, kind of fit each nation appropriately, with like the Anglo-Saxons having like churches, and then I think they have like spear guards and longbowmen and like that kind of stuff. Where like the Vikings, they have more of like the blacksmithy and like the
more of like thick
Viking
hide
stuff.
and more of the kind of ornamental.
Yeah, spear raiders, that kind of stuff. So it'll be kind of
sounds cool.
Yeah. So look for more information on that. I don't think it's gotten a lot of coverage. So
No, I haven't heard of it before. Literally this moment.
So I'm excited to see the reviews and stuff that come out over the next couple of days.
Okay.
Hopefully it turns out okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it for tomorrow.
That's a lot for one day.
I mean, that's a lot, and the Steam always releases like 35 indie games going on all at once too. So it's hard to keep track with all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
But other than tomorrow, it's Tuesday release, Thursday release, Friday release day. Thursday, we got another 3DS game coming out. Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, which is a tower defense game. It's the third one in the series. I don't know if you've been familiar with that at all. I think I played the first one like a long time ago, but I don't remember too much about it.
Okay.
But it was pretty much just a straight tower defense game, with like I guess some racing stuff they're adding to it now. But it's part of the Rolling Western series, Dylan's Rolling Western series. So
okay.
Yeah, not really much else to say about it. I guess like the cool thing is now you can hire Miis as gunners. So you can, if you've got a Mii, you can kind of bring them into the game. But the game I'm really looking forward to on Thursday is Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon.
Yeah.
It's coming out it's PS4, Vita, Xbox One, Switch, PC, 3DS. It's coming all the way across. It's actually it was actually a stretch goal for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which was a Kickstarter game.
Really?
It got backed pretty quick, and that's why that's more of a in-depth, graphical kind of game. If you don't know too much about it, it's worth checking out. But the stretch goal was that they were going to do like a 8-bit Castlevania style game if they hit that stretch goal. So they did. It took them a little while to make it. I think it's been about 16, 17 months since they hit that goal. So,
I mean, you're making a game
for most Kickstarter stuff. Yeah. But
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think we have the official announcement trailer, so you can get an idea about it.
We do.
I don't know if you want to play it, but it's pretty much straight. It's straight Castlevania.
All right.
So
let's take a
you
look.
like that kind of game?
On the night of the full moon, demonkind's stronghold is under siege by its worst nightmare. Zangetsu, a sword-wielding exorcist who will stop at nothing to eradicate all demons. Miriam, a young woman who has had crystals transplanted by alchemists. She battles against demons with her fearsome whip. Alfred, an alchemist seeking the Liber Logaeth texts. He battles demons with his mastery of alchemy. G-Bell, a young man who, like Miriam, has had crystals transplanted. He bears deep hatred for humans and alchemists alike. Will you form alliances or forge your own path? Life and death hang in the balance as the horrible night rages on. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. Available May 24th, 2018.
All right.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
So, like I said, Castlevania 3.
Yeah. It's Castlevania.
Yeah, well, you know, a couple of different characters you can play as, and the music sounds awesome. You know, so it'll be a fun one.
No, that looks really solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out for everything on Thursday, pretty much. But Friday is the big release day.
Yes, and before we talk about anything on Friday, I'm just gonna roll it. I'm just gonna roll another trailer because I can't not.
Sure, I don't know what this is.
Get hype. Get so hype. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the thing that I'm doing on Friday. Like, I may come down with a case of, oh my god, I'm so sick and I can't go to work at itis on Friday. Like, I am so pumped for this. You know how much I love Dark Souls. And
yeah, man, like it's
oh my
gonna
God.
be awesome.
It's everything that I was hoping for in a Dark Souls remaster. They did nothing to the game. They increased the resolution. They upped the FPS to 60. They redid most of the textures and stuff have been just scaled up,
updated,
and they added it so now you can go up to 6-player multiplayer. And they added some extra arena modes in the pre-existing arena that was already in DS1. It's basically like everything that ever needed to happen to Dark Souls 1 has happened to it, and they just redid it better.
You missed the most important thing about the whole
Did I?
online factor. dedicated servers.
Oh, yo, for sure, yeah. Like,
It's no longer P2P server, P2P online. It's dedicated servers now. I am so stoked about that because we always had problems because we played through 1 and 2 and most of 3 at this point.
Yeah.
We always had problems with the connection service and trying to link up for games. Remember for 1 I had to download some like third-party software.
Yeah, we used DSFix, and then we had to use a different thing to ensure our connection. Yeah, Dark Souls 1 was a very like kind of a random connection. There was no real guarantee you could get in with anyone that you wanted to. It was designed as a one-player experience where if you wanted to summon somebody in, it had to be random. They designed it that way. They decided later on that wasn't the best idea based on their player feedback. But yeah, it was a very isolating game.
Yeah.
The players found a way to get around it a little bit, but it was very isolating. But yes, I mean, there's ups and downs to dedicated servers.
Yeah.
I mean, the dedicated servers could one day go down, and
That's true.
then multiplayer is off the table there. But peer-to-peer stuff, that's not going to go anywhere, unless matchmaking goes down. And it's significantly easier to write up a quick matchmaking service as opposed to writing up a server service. So
yeah, that's fair.
you take some, you leave some. But I'm super pumped. I have played Dark Souls for so many hours. This game, like the first Dark Souls...
You've got at least 400 hours, 500 hours in this series for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just the first game alone, I think I've got like 300 hours recorded on Steam. And that's like not counting any of the stuff that was just like played offline or played at a friend's place or doing whatever else. Like anything that you record with like DSFix or whatever else, like it doesn't get tracked. So yeah. I mean, I've got a lot more than a couple hundred hours in that. But the first Dark Souls is my happy place game, man. Like if I need to just like relax and just go to a place where I can just be, man, it's the first Dark Souls. It's so good. Like everything about that game is incredible. The way the world is designed. Like Dark Souls 2 and 3 had bonfires that you could warp to anywhere. The first Dark Souls didn't have that. You had to go from place to place, but because of that the world was so interconnected, like you could wander for hours and hours and then happen to find an elevator that brings you back down to, a place you've been before and you're like, "Oh my god." And like there's now this new way that you can go to grant you this new, it was so incredible, and the combat was very like methodical and patient, which is just something I really love about that game. A lot of people love Bloodborne because it's more fast-paced and it's more action-oriented, and I like taking my time. Like I like being able to use a fucking Zweihander for the entire game. Just like break out this giant two-handed sword, carry over my shoulder, find somebody, wait until they get a crack on their arm, and then just slam them down with a giant sword, man. It's incredible, that game.
Right, well,
so damn good.
I'm gonna run through the differences real quick because I feel like this is really kind of worth just talking about the differences between all the different stuff. So it's coming out for the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, the PC, the PS4, the regular PS4, the regular Xbox One. It's coming out for the Switch, but the Switch is being released later this year. We don't have an official release date. All of the games, will run 1080p. Where the biggest differences are the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro will run at 4K at 60 frames, but the graphics are going to be upscaled from 1080p. So the textures and stuff will be 1080p textures that are kind of upscaled to 4K. The PC will have native 4K resolution with 4K textures and everything going on there. So all of that will run at 60 frames per second, which is huge. That's huge. 4K at 60 is amazing. The PS4 Pro and the Xbox One are going to play at 1080p at 60 frames. And then the Switch, when it comes out, has 2 different modes, which I think is important. The Switch is going to run at 30 FPS, which is what the PC versions currently run at. I don't believe they run. I think
versions.
3 runs.
All versions run at 30.
Right, 3 doesn't run at 60. I think 3. I think you can push.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The original Dark Souls. Every
original Dark Souls,
port version of that ran at 30. Yeah, but Dark Souls 2 and 3 both run at 60 FPS. Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna get much smoother gameplay on the remastered for most of them. But the Switch is gonna play very similar to the original PC game. So I expect, like the lag and stuff that you would get in Blighttown, I think that's still going to be kind of there on the Switch. The big thing though is that when you have it docked, it will run at 1080p, which is something that most Switch games don't do, because I believe natively the Switch wants to run at 900p in docked mode. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. And then when you play it just portable in your hand, it'll run at a maximum of 720, which is fine for the size of that screen. You're not going to notice the difference between 720 and 1080, unless you have fantastic, ridiculous eyes.
Mm-hmm. And given the power of the hardware in the Switch, I'd say that
it's a smart decision.
That's about right, because the Switch is just about where the PS3 was when it was first out on the PS3. So I don't think that's too ambitious for them. I think that's right about what the Switch can do.
It's where it needs to be, and if it controls well, if it feels good in the controller. In the Joy-Cons, it may be one of the best games out for Switch, next to like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. So, I mean, I'll put it up. I'll put it up there with both of those as games go for the Switch, as long as it controls well. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Other than that, going up to 6 people for PvP, I think is incredible. I'm interested to see if you can run 6 people because we ran 3 people for a while in just the story mode. So I'm interested to see if you could run 6 people as the story mode and just kind of tear through things.
No,
or if they're gonna cap you out.
No, you won't be able to do that. I'm almost positive that you're not going to be able to have 6 co-op. That's far too much. They scale up enemies and they scale up bosses with the more people that you have in. And if you actually did let 6 people in there, any one person would not be able to defeat any one enemy on the ground. Short of just
right. So they may cap it at 3.
I firmly believe they're still going to cap it at maybe 4.
4?
Maybe 4.
Okay.
But
we'll see.
6 players is great for it's for the arena. It's really for the arena, because the whole Covenant that ran back in there was really cool. I remember that arena too. It was very small. There used to be random spawns in there, and I believe that's fixed. Or it was set spawns, and now they're random, which is good. But instead of just having 2-on-2, now you're gonna be able to have 3-on-3, which is gonna be much more exciting. So, look forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm pretty out of all of these games that we've listed. If I had to pick one as a must buy, I think it would be Dark Souls Remastered. Would be the must buy game especially if you've never played any of the Dark Souls.
If this is your entry point into the series, in fact, if you've only played 2 and 3, and you're curious about playing 1, I believe the original Dark Souls has been taken off the Steam market. It's still visible, but you can't purchase it anymore because Remastered is coming out.
Because Remastered, yeah.
And it's there's no content or story or gameplay difference between the two, so you're really not losing anything out of it. So
you're not losing it. You're literally not losing it. If anything, you're gaining more.
You're getting all the DLC. It's only going to be better.
Yeah. The only other big release coming out Friday is this game called Detroit Become Human. I don't know if you know too much about this. But I remember a video being released, I think 2015, where they introduced the character. They did a small demo with the...
it was a character video,
Kara.
And it was, I remember this because it was a very big Uncanny Valley situation. People saw it and they were like, wow, that looks really good, but what exactly is wrong? It was right in that point where people knew it wasn't a real human, but nobody was able to point out exactly what it was that tipped them off that it wasn't a real person sitting in a chair talking. It was one of those really...
They pushed the envelope, but unfortunately it wasn't quite there. So what they ended up doing is that they used that to their advantage, and then they built this game around that idea of, this person's not actually a human. This is an android that figures out that she's an android and not human. And then so this is going to be a game. It's an action adventure game from the third person kind of point of view. It's going to play, I think, similar to games like LA Noire, where all of your choices kind of have an effect on what happens in game. There are a couple
I
of
got a
different
very like
characters that
Heavy
you can
Rain
play.
vibe from it.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have a Heavy Rain vibe to it as well. The big thing I think is there are multiple player characters. So if you kill one or if one
Yeah, if one of them
accidentally
dies, the story keeps going. Heavy Rain was the exact
Yeah.
same way. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you play
So-
Heavy Rain by any chance?
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't recall specifics of it.
Yeah,
But
there was like a serial killer who was abducting and killing
Yeah.
children, and
And you were the one investigating it.
well, you played 3 characters. You played or 4 characters. I'm sorry. You played as
You play the dad.
You play as
of one
dad.
kid.
You played as a reporter. You played as a guy who was investigating the murder, and you played as a cop. Or the guy investigating was a PI, and then there was a cop.
Okay.
The game ended a whole bunch of different ways, had a whole bunch of different branching paths. It was really cool. But there's a we have another trailer for this one. If you're so inclined.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Go click a button.
You've been gone for 2 weeks, so the place is a mess. You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals. That's Alice. You look after her. Homework, bath, all that crap. Got it?
Right away, Todd. Aren't you going to school today? I'm sure we used to be friends before I was reset. Maybe we can be friends again.
You shouldn't mess around with my stuff. It makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, Todd.
What are you looking at? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault your fucking mother took off. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accountant. Come back here. You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move. Alice! Daddy's very mad. It's all over now. Daddy isn't angry anymore. You know Daddy loves you. This is all your fault!
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
You're coming with me. That's enough! I want you to leave Alice alone.
She's mine. I do what I want with her!
Kara!
Come back here!
Watch out, Kara!
So yeah, really cool looking,
Yeah.
really cool looking stuff. You get a very like Heavy Rain kind of vibe from it. Not so much like with the investigation, but with just like how it interacts, how it feels, how the story branches, and characters interact. And it's all about what you decide and that kind of thing. So a lot of cool stuff that way. And frankly, it's games like that that make me like want to own a PS4.
Yeah.
But
But fortunately, this is coming out for more than just PS4. I believe it's hitting the PC as well.
are you
just
sure? I
double-checking.
think it's only
just-
PS4.
Maybe you might be right.
I'm
Thought it
fairly
was coming
certain.
out for PC, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're right. It's just PS4.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Well,
I'll wait till
time for me
PS5
to
comes
dust
out
it
and then
off.
pick up a 4 Pro.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a PS4 just collecting dust in in the living room, so
Oh, okay.
maybe it's time to
Break that sucker
turn-
out.
Yeah, who knows? But it'll be fun. It's dealing with some heavier subject matter, but you know
Yeah.
what? It's definitely more of a game for the adult crowd, so you know it'll be good for us nonetheless. Other than that, what have you been? I think that's pretty much it for the main releases this
Yeah,
week.
we've spent over a half hour just talking about stuff that's coming out
Yeah.
just in the next week.
You been playing anything new lately?
New stuff, yes. I've been playing. Well, Warmind came out a couple weeks ago, so I played that a little bit. I was playing playing a lot past couple of days. Trying to get my power level up. I'm up at three. I want to say 356 or 357 now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it feels okay. I mean, everybody, you know, a lot of people, you know, the hardcore Destiny fans, they're like way ahead of me. And every time I get into a Discord and try to do something, everybody's like, "You're only 350 something? Ugh, I can't
Yeah.
believe you're such a low." And it just like, it makes you feel bad, but that's just how people are.
That's the Destiny community. It's
yeah.
always been that way.
It's like,
If
oh,
you
I
didn't
can't
have
believe you're
Gjallarhorn
not
on day
completely
one-
dedicated to this game and you only play it. You know, like somebody told me the other day, like, if you don't have all three characters fully through the story, you're just not playing enough Destiny. And I'm like, that's kind of not true.
No,
Like,
that's-
I don't have that much time, and also the story's not good, and I don't want to play it that much. Like,
Right, exactly. I don't think I have I think I just have my one hunter at like 347.
yeah,
And then my other
yeah,
characters are
100%.
like 120 or something like that.
Yeah, my Titan is like 240 or something, like just past the campaign when it first came out or whatever. But
Yeah.
ooh, so how's Pillars of Eternity going?
It's going. I mean, it's a RPG, so I really have to sit down and dedicate like 4 hours to it whenever I sit down. Otherwise, I don't make any progress. I just get
Yeah.
like 2 screens in. But it's cool. I have a boat now. There's naval warfare and firing of cannons and hiring crew. I finally have a full team of Vox Machina characters.
Nice.
So I piece those guys together. You have to build them and recruit them as mercenaries.
All right.
So yeah, I'm running the full female team of Keyleth, Vixalia, and Pike. And I am running
why Keyleth?
because I need spellcasters.
Yes.
So and
As
she's,
long as she dives off a cliff at the end, it's fine.
she's way cooler. She's way cooler in Pillars than she is than she was in the first season of Critical Role.
I
you know,
hesitantly
it's all-
take your word for it. All right.
Yeah, I even have a trinket. I've got a
Oh, good.
Vixalia's got a pet bear named Trinket.
Nice.
She refers to him in character. It's nice. It's pretty cool. So I mean that's been fun. Other than that, I've been playing Undertale. I started playing Undertale again when I was on the road.
Okay.
I played it before. I don't think I actually finished Undertale, but I just wanted to give it. I wanted to do one of those like total annihilation runs where you just kill everything and you
Yeah.
ruin the whole story. So that's my intention for this.
Nice.
Just to get through it,
You don't have to remember the story then either. All you do is just go to the next room, kill everything, go to the next room, kill everything.
kill everything, and then yep,
Great.
exactly.
All right, sounds good. Oh man, so you probably know there's been a lot of hubbub about it on Twitch. State of Decay 2 is coming
Yeah.
out tomorrow, but it's been in I want to say early. It's not early access. It had an early release. It's been playable if you bought the Ultimate Edition, which is just the season pass, I think, and like some
Right.
other stuff. But it's been playable for a couple of days. I think since Friday. So I've been playing State of Decay 2. Before that, I was playing State of Decay, the first one, just because I didn't know what the hubbub was about, and I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and I had a friend of mine gift me the second one because I'm not going to send my money to the Microsoft Store. He can send his money, but I'm not going to send my money to it. I know that's entirely counterintuitive. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
I'm not judging you. I'm slightly judging you, but I'm not.
that's
Judging
that's okay. All right. I don't know. It's been good fun. It's I should have known Microsoft would find a way to fuck me over one way or another, because I had to reformat my computer to get this game working.
That blows my mind.
Doesn't it?
But I mean,
Like-
yeah,
I have, so it's just fuck. I hate Windows 10. Like, I didn't hate Windows 8.1 that much. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it, right? Like, I think Windows 10 is the first operating system that I actually hate. Like, I dislike Apple strongly, but I understand people who choose to use it. I know why they go for it. The hardware quality is great. The software is always basically working just as it's supposed to. Like, Windows 10, I hate it. It constantly gets in the way. Do you ever get notifications from Windows Defender that, hey, everything's good to go, you don't need to do anything, but we popped up on top of everything on your desktop anyway?
just to let you know that everything's okay.
The fuck,
Yeah,
why? You notified me about nothing. Anyhow, so just the long and short of this shit is that so you can only buy this game on the Microsoft Store, which is how Xbox does all of its sales, and it's all hooked in with Xbox Live now, and that's all integrated. So whatever. Weirdly enough, it actually found my Xbox Live profile from like 2004 or something, or 5 or whatever, like when it was first out, when Halo 2 was a thing. And it still had all my like gamer scores and my achievements and everything. I was like, huh. All right, because I figured I had been like migrated to a new system or something. I guess it's still up, but so the Windows Store just didn't work at first. So I got it. I got the gift code and I registered it and I tried to download. And it goes downloading, acquiring license, and then error. I'm like, okay. So then I try to fix some shit, do some googling, and then another error. I'm like, all right, fine. So I go and I try to figure it out, and as it turns out, okay, well maybe the Windows Store is corrupt. Okay, well you can fix it this way, but it said that was fine even though it was reporting it was broken. So whatever. It said there's no way. It said we fixed it, but every time you rescan, it said it was still broken. So
Still broken.
classic Windows,
Gotcha.
yeah. So then I ended up trying some like networking stuff, and then I thought it was, like maybe it was the firewall preventing it, and I thought maybe it was something, but it didn't work anywhere. And I spent $50 because like I paid Mike $50 for the gift code, because he's not going to give it to me.
Right.
For free. So I was like, well, I dropped $50 on this. I'm not playing it because I can't get a refund, right?
Right.
So I'm going to play this. So I backed up my stuff, and for a long time, I have been a advocate of reformatting your Windows computer once a year, just to wipe shit off of it, because crap just piles up. Like, and not even on Windows, just things that are on your computer, like they just pile up. Files you downloaded, or things that you forgot, or something you installed for once because you were curious about a thing or whatever. So the long and short of it is I reformatted it and got it working, and my buddy bought it too, Kevin. And so we were trying to play it last night, but Kevin couldn't get it to work. He got it to install and play it, but he couldn't get multiplayer to work because there's some like tunneling issue for a service that Microsoft uses in order to make anything happen. So long and short is I just hate Windows 10 so much because nothing is ever simple on it.
No. But hey, good guy Windows had you reformat, do you yearly reformat a little bit early?
The crazy
No,
thing is I actually haven't reformatted my system for
right?
like I think 3 years. Like ever since Windows 10 came out, I haven't been able to reformat because I had Windows 8 installed underneath it, and I got the 10 upgrade. But in the last critical update that Windows released, they added a feature that you can straight up reinstall Windows from Windows. So it lets you reformat the entire hard drive except for the part that installs Windows and then installs it. I was like, all right.
Okay.
So it
That's
actually
cool.
worked.
That's pretty nice.
I guess, if you really want Windows. But aside from that bullshit, I've also been playing The Forest, trying to find Timmy.
Yeah.
Also playing that on and off with Kevin, and we're getting close.
You get any further?
We're
You get
getting
any
close.
further in the tunnels?
Oh yeah, we explored a whole bunch of caves and tunnels, and we got like rebreathers, and we found compound bows, and we got we found more rifle parts. We got a flare gun, bunch of stuff. Like we basically we found katanas.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically, we just don't fear cannibals anymore.
Right.
But we have been in the game long enough now that like the most difficult enemies in it are spawning, and they're pretty hard to kill. So we need to hurry up and find Timmy before we all die. But
Gotcha.
we'll get there. That's about it for what I've been playing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I played. What was that? I played a couple of rounds of Fortnite before we got on stream today.
Yes.
I haven't played in about a month, and the first game I got in, killed 2 people, and then died because I forgot how to build. And then the second game in, Victory Royale. You know, I had to.
You can
only had
retire.
one kill,
You
but I
can
had to-
retire
yeah.
a champion.
I only had 1 kill, but it was the only kill that mattered. So,
Hey, I
but to be fair, I didn't see anybody the entire time. I just straight up kept looting one of the missions for week 1 is to collect chests at Haunted Hills. So I just landed in Haunted Hills and tried to find every chest that I could, and
yeah.
no one else was there. So
I mean, hey, you get all the loot to yourself. You know, you get to wander around uncontested. I mean,
yeah.
great.
But speaking of battle royale games, the first thing we need to talk about when it comes to this gaming news is Call of Duty 4 Black Ops. It's the game everyone's talking about right now.
It's Black Ops, whatever.
4.
Call of Duty 4, yeah,
4.
okay.
Yeah, Black Ops. Or Black Ops 4 is what most people
Yeah, it's Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I think is the official technical title.
Yeah. But it's gonna have a battle royale mode called the Blackout mode, just like every other first-person shooter that's gonna come out and riding the coattails of Fortnite. But the big thing is that it's gonna have a zombie story mode. It's all part of the same story mode. It's got 3 unique missions.
Yeah, it's like there's these 3 people, and it takes place over the course of many years, and they go back in time to fight the zombie horde or something like that.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up, your mic keeps cutting in and cutting out.
Oh, does it? Oh, I'm sorry. That's gotta be because I'm just.
But just so people are aware, there's gonna be 3 unique missions. One's on the Titanic, one's in the Roman battle arena, which I think is gonna be cool because you're gonna need swords and shields, axes and spears. It's not gonna be guns or anything like that. And then they have the last one. It's called Blood of the Dead, which is like a throwback one that kind of references classic maps from the previous Black Ops games. I don't know necessarily what that means, if they're just taking levels straight up from the previous games, or if they're just going to have buildings that kind of remind you of areas that you were back then. It's going to have the zombie rush mode, which is a traditional zombie survival mode. Just keep plugging along until you die. The 2 biggest points, other than the battle royale mode, though, is that it's not going to have a traditional campaign.
Yeah.
And the president of the company has pretty much been on board saying that's not going to be an issue. So I think that's going to be an issue because that was really the only reason I played any of the Call of Duty games. I could care less really about the multiplayer. I know a lot of people do care about it. But I was always more into the campaign, the story mode than anything else. And then the second big thing is that it's going to be distributed on battle.net. So it's the second game that Blizzard is helping distribute that they don't really have a real big...
It's another Activision title. Or publisher Activision. Ever since they merged, Blizzard has been lending their expertise in their server infrastructure to Activision. And I mean, frankly, based on how well the Destiny netcode works, I think that's a good idea.
It could be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody. Here's the thing: Blizzard doesn't release bad products ever. I've never seen something come out of Blizzard that wasn't covered in layers of polish, right? It's so good every time.
Everything's super well thought out.
Yeah,
they put the time behind it to make sure that it's nice and clean before.
Yeah, and they've been dealing with large scale servers with millions and millions of people since the first for 15 years, for one game. So not only do they have to manage these servers, but they have to actually keep them up to date with the best security policies. And over the course of 15 years, across server migrations, across software upgrades, that's an insane technical undertaking. So I mean, if there's anybody who should be lending, who Activision should want server support from, it's Blizzard, because they know what they're doing terms of that.
Yeah, I remember. This is slightly off topic.
Sure.
But talking about servers and stuff, I remember reading an article about the guy who developed the server system for a magazine who had the rights to the Kim Kardashian, the naked Kim Kardashian photo that ended up being a magazine cover.
Oh yeah, okay.
And yeah, So they were like that. He was like, when they told him like they were going to upgrade the servers because they knew what they had, they were like, we have a picture that's going to break the internet. So get us prepared for this so we don't go down, because we're going to get millions and millions and millions of clicks off of this. And this was a smaller magazine.
Yeah.
So they ended up like dropping, I want to say it was like $150,000, like just into new hardware just for this one photo. And that's just one photo for one magazine for, a thing that's only going to happen for about 24 hours. And now you're talking about this game that's going to have millions and millions of players every single day. So, you're looking at almost $1 million just in infrastructure alone, just to keep a game like this, just to get a game like this up. Not even talking about the money that is required just to maintain it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you think about, like, have you ever been to, like, I forget the name of it. It's like Steam stats or Steam statistics or Steam numbers or something like that. But like, you can see the number of concurrent players of any game at any given time. So like, if you look at like the number of players that like actually are concurrently playing one thing, it can get pretty crazy. And Blizzard blows that number away constantly. Like, yeah. Let me just go look it up here, because it's I know it's such a Steam charts. Thank you. Okay, Steam charts. So it tells you the number of concurrent players that are playing any one game. So by top games, so right now the number one thing being played on Steam, the thing most people are playing right at this very second, is PUBG, and there are currently 260,000 people simultaneously playing that game. Like, at this very second, 260,000 people are playing PUBG, and they're all online inside of a base of like 15, 20 servers. Like, this is not an easy thing to maintain, and Blizzard blows that away, because I think Blizzard gets like 500,000 concurrent WoW players, or like some outrageous number, right? So to just be able to manage that is outrageous. And if there's anybody Activision wants help from, it's Blizzard.
Yeah, that's fair. So I mean, that's pretty much it for a first look on Call of Duty. There'll be more information and more trailers and stuff, that come out. E3 is right around the corner. I'm sure that's going to be a big ticket item for them to kind of let people get hands on some stuff. So we'll have more information kind of coming out as they release more stuff. Other big news. Well, I don't even say this is big news, but this is news. This is news for you and me.
I laughed so hard when I saw this was happening.
Yeah, Sega teases a new Sonic Racing announcement. So this is like a teaser for a teaser almost.
Oh man. Are we showing it?
Pretty much. I don't think I put.
I don't feel like we need to really show. There's nothing to it. It's just a little logo and it's like Sonic R on it or whatever. But
yeah, they kind of like revealed an image back in March that was kind of like just the letter R. And then during a recent live stream, Nintendo live stream, they kind of hinted that more news about it is coming really, really soon. The biggest thing, I guess, related, but not that related, is that Sega is going to be working with Puma to sell Sonic-inspired sneakers, probably along the release of whatever this game is.
This is gonna fail so hard. I don't want it to fail. I'm not actively like fuck Sega, but like, come on.
No, I don't think it's gonna fail at all. Sonic Mania was a monster hit for these guys. I don't know, like they did it right.
Sonic Mania was a 2D side scroll.
Yeah, but the thing about the Sonic Mania that did so well was that they got the mod community behind it. A lot of the level designers for Sonic Mania were guys that made levels for the mod community. Mm-hmm. So they went around and they said, "Hey, you guys are making content that people are really enjoying. Let's bring you in and let's get all of you guys to kind of work together and let's see what you guys can do." And that's what Sonic Mania was. So hopefully they kind of take that and they roll with it and they see what they can do with the racing game. I think it could be really good. That's how I feel like. I mean, you can pretty much reskin Mario Kart 8 and make it Sonic and call it a day
Sure,
at this point.
but it was Sonic R. It's one of like
It's one of the best worst games ever that have ever.
yeah, it's one of the best, most terrible games. Yeah.
yeah. The soundtrack was fantastic.
Can
You
you,
know, that was
feel
the
the
saving-
sunshine? Is it bright
was,
enough today? Oh, it's terrible. Are you kidding?
That was the saving grace of that game in my mind.
Can you feel the sunshine? So go to YouTube right now. Anybody, and just go look up. Can you feel the sunshine? Sonic R. All right. This is a song in a racing game. All right. Try to imagine people going super. Oh no, forget that. This is Sonic. He only runs like 15 miles an hour in Sonic R. All right.
So there's a YouTube channel that I thoroughly love, and it's called 8-Bit Music Theory. I don't, you know me. I've played in bands. Music has been a thing for me. This guy does a really, really great job of breaking down what makes great video game music. Where he hasn't done one on Sonic R, but he's done stuff on enough other games that I've been able to see, like looking back, I've been able to tell and see the things that he's talked about in most of those songs. So it's a good soundtrack. And if you haven't checked out the 8-Bit Music Theory YouTube channel, definitely do it. I think he's got over 130,000 subscribers, but like if you're into music at all and and are familiar with chord theory to a degree, or just want to know more about what makes music good, quote unquote, like and it's you can spend hours on his channel. It's great. But enough about that. Other things that are coming out. Dark Horse is releasing another Zelda book. This one is for Breath of the Wild. It is going to be massive. It's going to be over 400 pages. This is no longer a coffee table book. This is a display piece for libraries. If you have a desk that has a spot for a very large book, this would be fantastic for it. It's going to have about 300 pages of just design, artwork, and commentary. It's going to have a 55-page history of Hyrule leading up to all of the events in Breath of the Wild. And it's going to have about another 50 pages of sketches and illustrations from Takumi Wada, who is a fantastic artist, does some great work. All of the material inside the book is going to be from Breath of the Wild and its 2 DLC packs. So it's a lot of content. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a 400-page art book. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna feel good in the hands. It's gonna feel really good crushing spiders with it. It comes out November 20th. It's gonna be about $40 for the hardcover. If you are a Zelda fan, or if you like Dark Horse, Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, Dark
They
Horse
do-
has a lot of really good artists working for them.
Yeah,
I've never seen a
They're-
Dark Horse
it's
thing that
gonna
I
be-
looked at and I was like, I don't like that art style. Everything they do is
Yeah.
really nice.
it's gonna be fantastic. I don't think I will purchase it because I'm terrible at decorating my house. So I don't have a place for a book like that currently. But maybe down the line I'll build some bookshelves and showcase it.
I'll tell you what my display piece is. Anytime somebody comes over and they're like, "Hey man, what's your like favorite book that you can show off?" I'm like, great, let me tell you.
Yeah, you got the
I got the
shield
sick,
hanging out right there.
the sick Dark Souls art book.
Nice. Oh, very cool.
Anyhow, moving on.
Yeah. Moving on.
Something Minecraft, something water.
Yeah, Minecraft's first expansion is coming out. First
Yeah.
aquatic expansion is coming out. So if you play Minecraft and you jump in the water and you go under the water, it used to be just an endless blue abyss.
And
with
blocky
some
squid.
Yeah, and blocky squids.
Blocky squid.
But now you will see dolphins and fish and coral and seagrass and kelp and buried treasure and all different kinds. There's going to be 9 different biomes. I will put a link in the Discord for the official announcement post so you can see everything that has been released for it. It is out currently for PC, Xbox One, mobile devices, virtual reality, Oculus Rift, the mixed reality stuff, and it is free. You don't need to pay a single dollar to get it. It has not been announced for the PS4 or the Switch yet, but that will be coming out soon.
Yeah, it'd be odd if they didn't roll it out to all the platforms.
Yeah. So I will put the link up right here in general discussion. Discord is phase 1 is out now. Phase 2 will be coming out sometime, I believe, like late this year into next year, I believe. Other than that, something that I'm really into. There's going to be a new Halo game coming out, but it's for the arcade. I think the arcade is something that a lot of people have kind of. It's lost a lot of popularity, but it's still very much an important thing when it comes to like family fun centers. I'm trying to think. I live in a city that's full of theme parks and amusement parks, and so the arcade hasn't been lost for me because there's still plenty of them around.
Yeah.
But I think like the younger generation, they don't really get that arcade experience anymore.
Yeah, you don't get to
like-
walk into a side shop in a mall with a bunch
Right,
of little
like,
cabinets in there, all designed to make you
Just-
give them quarters.
I think for the most part, the people's experience with arcades now are pretty much at movie theaters.
Yeah.
Waiting for movies, and
And
even
those are really
games
those aren't arcades. That's not a real arcade.
They're not like a real arcade, but like unless you're over in Japan, like Japan has some legitimate arcades still.
All right, yeah, true.
But
I mean, you get stuff in movie theaters like the Star Trek Voyager, shooter game, or you get like Cabela's Game Hunting or that kind of stuff.
Big Buck Hunter, that kind of stuff that you see at bars and stuff.
Mhm.
And actually, the crazy thing is that this is a pretty big collaboration between Raw Thrills, Play Mechanics, and 343 Industries. For just to give like an idea, Raw Thrills is like they're like the new player to the bunch when it comes to the arcade world. They did the Injustice arcade game, the fighter, which was the DC Universe fighter game. They did the arcade version of that. They did one of the more recent Big Buck Hunter games. They've done a reboot of the Cruise and Drive games. They
Cruise
did the
in
Jurassic
World.
Park. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, they did Cruise and Blast, which is like pretty much a revamp. They did the Jurassic Park arcade machine. Play Mechanics, however, has been around forever, and they do everything. The Terminator Salvation 2-player gun game that you see in like every arcade known to man.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make that. They've done pretty much every game in the Big Buck Hunter series. If you ever see like a Wheel of Fortune game or a Deal or No Deal game, they pretty much have made it. They've been a long-standing player in the arcade, in the stand-up console arcade category for a very long time. And then 343 Industries, they've been on board with every single fucking Halo game, from Halo Combat Evolved all the way up to the most recent releases. So it's going to be pretty cool. From what I've
was
read,
Bungie and up through Reach.
No, 343 has always been on board with Bungie with them. You can look them up. Their history with the Halo series is I don't say pretty deep, is really deep.
Oh, did the employees there used to work for Bungie?
Nope. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's
343 Industries was founded to work on Halo 4.
They started back in 2007, so about 11 years ago, and they kind of came around when the split between Microsoft and Bungie happened. But everybody has kind of been on board with it. They've been part of it since the Combat Evolved anniversary. So yeah, I mean, they've been officially a company after Halo 3. But a lot of the people have been on board because it's kind of like people from Microsoft and Bungie. But they've been on board with pretty much everything at this point.
All right.
But the game is set in the Combat Evolved timeline, and you don't play as Master Chief. You fight alongside of him. It's a four-player game. You can work together as co-op, 4 people co-op, or you can play against each other 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1, or 2 versus 2. It's going to be a massive screen. It's going to be a 130-inch 4K screen. And it will be showing up this summer at Dave & Buster's across the U.S. and Canada. Another cool thing is that you will get a QR code for when you play, and you'll be able to scan that QR code on the website and kind of get an idea of where you stand, like a online scoreboard for the world. Which you don't see a lot of arcade games doing that at this point.
Yeah.
But it maybe a thing that you see kind of going on. I'm really into the whole arcade scene. One of the cool things that I get to do every year, working the corporate circuit and convention circuit for like AV stuff, there is a massive theme park arcade game amusement ride convention that's held in the city that I live in fairly frequently, not every year. And they just had it here last year. So I got to spend a week at the convention center just checking out literally everything that was going to come out.
That
so
sounds incredible.
No, it's absolutely incredible.
Next time that rolls around, give me a shout.
Well, here's the thing: is that it's industry only.
Oh.
So you can't come in unless you're a vendor.
Dang.
I just happened to get lucky because I was working as a system tech for an LED wall that was in one of the booths. So I got that. I pretty much sat there for 8 hours a day doing nothing, waiting for this LED wall to break, which it never did. So I got the opportunity to walk around because I had a vendor badge to kind of check everything out. And I actually saw a beta of this game, and it looks awesome. When I say it's a 130-inch 4K screen, this screen is like literally massive.
Yeah, 130 inches is huge.
Yeah, like you will be able to see this thing from a mile away.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about it. It looked pretty solid. The idea of doing 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2 game in a story kind of mode format is kind of neat. I think they're focusing a little bit more on the competitive side by, obviously giving you the QR code to see where you stand against the rest of the world. So it'll be cool. You'll again, Dave & Buster's pretty much has the rights to it right now, and then later on it'll probably branch out, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm stoked for it. Anything else? Yeah, a couple of things. The new Microsoft controller, adaptive controller, has been announced a couple of days back for people who have limited mobility. It's kind of an adaptive controller that you can attach peripherals to.
Yeah.
That way, because it's people who have different afflictions have different limited mobility in different ways. So they wanted to come up with a universal controller that you can kind of customize to your own personal needs, which I think is super cool. It's a little bit on the pricey side. I think it's going to start at $100, and then obviously the peripherals are going to kind of cost more. But it looks really intense with 2 giant buttons in the center that you can reprogram to be anything that you want, and all sorts of things that you can plug in via 1/8-inch cable or USB. I will put a list of the third-party manufacturers in the Discord as well. I think we have a video. We have the official video from Microsoft. Play that real quick so people get a better sense of what's going on with this.
Yeah, let me
I
toss
can
it
say
on up
words.
here. there's that.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are the things that I think that are kind of cool about it that people don't realize. Being able to put that controller on the floor and operating the two big buttons with your feet, while manipulating the sticks and the control and the buttons with your hands. Like a lot of people I know have that have issues with this stuff. It's primarily grip problems, and they can't necessarily hit the trigger buttons all that well on the back of the controller because they're so concerned on actually just holding the controller in their hands.
Yeah.
And actually, I have an Xbox controller right here. I can demonstrate. I don't know how well this is going to look on camera, but they have a hard time with their fingers wrapping around and hitting these buttons up here. So being able to remap those buttons down to a floor controller that they can either step down and hold, especially with the bigger buttons and stuff like that. I think being able to maneuver with the sticks and move around and then hit buttons with your feet, I think that's going to be the biggest use for this. And who knows, maybe even with like, not even just for people who have limited mobility, but just, maybe we'll see some interesting speed runs and stuff down the line with people that just make full on floor controls.
Yeah.
And then they have to just operate games with their feet. You see people who like play Dark Souls with a banana or like DK Country, drums. So
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's like, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Just to briefly touch on it. I don't know. I know a couple of people who have physical disabilities, and I'll use this example. So my mother has one arm. She is missing one arm from just below the elbow down, and she has always been like kind of interested, like in like now that she's retired, she doesn't really have a lot to do. Like she was looking at maybe getting into video games as something that she could do, and
Right.
I said, power to you. So she asked me what kind of games there are that you can play with one hand, and I said, well, check out stuff like Civilization, or you can do like the easy stuff like Minesweeper, or like point and click adventure games, that kind of thing. Like Sam and Max and all that stuff, and this could just be, she's older and it's not her generation's thing. She just hasn't done it. She just goes online and she plays AARP games. Like AARP.com just has a couple of Flash games or whatever they are on their site, and she just plays those. And she has a good time, and that's great for her. Like I'm glad that she's found something that she likes to do. I don't see the adaptive controller bringing people to Xbox in a big way. Like, I'm sure that there will be a few. I don't know as the target audience is people who don't already want to play Xbox, right? Like, if you were okay and then you were injured, I could see how this would be a big deal. Like, okay, now I can get back into doing the stuff that I like. Or if you I don't know. I mean, it's clearly a good thing, and I'm super pumped that Microsoft is moving in a direction that caters to those needs. It's not something that I think is going to drive a lot of sales for Microsoft.
I don't think that's their intention at all on this, actually. I don't think their intention is to generate a boatload of money off of this product. I think it's more or less to just provide a service. You got to think about who actually owns Microsoft and what he does. Like Bill Gates has been known to just do things for the sake of doing things, especially for humanitarian reasons.
The
so
Bill
I don't
and
think
Melinda
that
Gates Foundation is outrageously kind to humanity.
I don't think that this is very much a stock mover for them. Like, it's not going to make the stock go up or go down. I think it's there for people who want it, and there for people who might need it. And I do like the fact that it's not just Xbox, and it will be cross compatible with Windows. So you'll be able to use it with your PC if need be as well. So I think that kind of opens some stuff up too.
I think it's good of them. I simply, because I know Microsoft and I have been screwed by Microsoft so many times, I'm just waiting for it to be a PR stunt. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure that it'll act like it will be a product, and you will be able to buy it, and you will be able to use it. Like, it'll do everything it says it's supposed to do. I have no doubt about that.
Right.
I'm just concerned that the Microsoft marketing division will eventually shake off the PR buzz about it and try to use it as just a marketing thing.
Well, for sure. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I think down the line you kind of have to as a business, you know.
Yeah, I mean, as a company, you have an obligation to the shareholders to increase their profits. So.
Right. But I think that's really what it's gonna. I mean, I think out of the gate, you know, all the peripherals and stuff are gonna be expensive. Like this controller, just the base controller is $100. So.
Oh yeah,
like,
and
you know,
to be fair, like I have a little bit of experience with this because, like I said, my mom has one arm. She has been buying sort of accessibility stuff throughout her entire life, and none of it has been cheap. I think the cheapest thing she ever got was like a brace that you can put on, and it'll wrap around, and it'll like go up around your shoulder, and like you use your shoulder muscles and your bicep to like adjust like the clamp on it to grab a thing, and that was like $300 or something dollars. Like,
yeah,
none of it has been in any way cheap. I mean, because it's all custom. Like, nobody's disability is exactly the same. It all has to be a little bit custom.
Right.
So, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. So, I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to make a lot of people happy. Is it going to be expensive? Sure. Is it for me? Probably not. You know, is it for... We'll probably see a small community of people who don't need to use it, adapt it for various things.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd be, you know, you're going to see somebody down the line map all of their Fortnite keys, their building keys to stomp buttons that they can stomp on, you know, while they play on their PC. You know, like people will use it for things, and then, you know, the world will go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else on the list? Anything you want to talk about? I know I put a lot of stuff on the sheet this week.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I think we've already gone about 20 minutes over time. I think we can go ahead and call it here. We have some content there that you're looking at that I think we can save that one for next week. It's a good topic. It's not going anywhere, and we'll have some time to do a little bit more preparation on it too. So,
Cool.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. It has been it's been fun.
Absolutely.
Good talks, good discussions, good times, and
don't forget to follow us on the Instagram and the Twitters at 2dudes1up. There's the Discord link in the overlay here. Yep. Come join us in the Discord as well.
Yep, there are links below the stream. Take you right to the Discord, right to the Twitter, so you don't have to try to copy down the Discord link in here.
Feel free to hit us up and let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see us talk about.
Happy to hear from
things that we can change. We would love to get some feedback from everybody. On that note, I guess we will see you all next week.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.